So we just launched Prep Insta Prime subscription, which is like 150 plus courses under one subscription. So it has courses like C, C++, Java, Python, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity, data structures, competitive coding, even company specific courses like TCS, NQT, Infosys, TCS Digital, Amazon, etc. The link is in the description of the video. Go check that out. I'm sure that you'll love that.
Hey guys, welcome to another video wherein we're talking about Cognizant GenC Elevate syllabus, right? So I hope you guys would have got a notification from your college, right? For the Cognizant GenC and GenC Elevate exams, right? So guys, before we start with this session, I will be talking about everything in detail about Cognizant GenC Elevate, right? The pattern, the hiring processes, what would be the test pattern, questions and everything, right? So just hold on for next 15-20 minutes and you would be pretty much clear about your GenC Elevate syllabus. Right now, let's talk about. So the first thing, guys, make sure you're a part of all our social media handles because we've already posted a lot about Cognizant, GenC or TCS or Microsoft or Google or Amazon hiring on our social media handles. So make sure you're a part of it. The links are in the description. Apart from that, top 3 comments in this video to get free subscription of Prep Insta Prime. So make sure you're commenting on this video. Right. So now, guys, let's start with the very basic thing. So the salary pattern, right? Because that is something that motivates us the most. So guys, even though we already have uploaded a video especially on GenC, the link to which can be found in the description of the video. So in this video, my whole concentration would be more on GenC Elevate rather than on GenC or the Pro or the Next. We'll especially talk about GenC Elevate because that is the most sought after profile in Cognizant GenC. So guys, the salary for the Elevate profile is 4 LPA plus your skills bonus, which is somewhere around 25,000 based upon your skills, right? But guys, this is not the only case. So if you actually perform well for Cognizant GenC Elevate, both in the hiring process, in the training, right, in the entire training process and all, you also have a chance to land into this profile. Either they'll give you, let's say, a skill bonus of 25k or something. But if they find you even worthy, what they'll do is rather than 4 LPA, they'll move you to this 5.4 LPA package, which is called the GenC Pro. And then if you perform even better, you can also get your profile upgraded to GenC Next, right? So I'd say approximately 40-45% of the students would stuck here. Higher chances of, let's say, 45 to 50% of the students will end up into the GenC Pro profile based upon their performance in the interview, in the hiring process and in the training part. And then let's say very few, right? Let's say 10% of them still have a chance to get into the GenC Next profile. Now, for the GenC Elevate, guys, there is no aptitude round, as in there's an aptitude round in GenC. They do not have an aptitude round, especially for the GenC Elevate profile. So the skill-based assessment, there is communication assessment, and then there is your technology interview, and then your HR interview. Right? But in case of GenC, you have your aptitude test plus communication test, and then your subject matter interview, and then the HR interview. The platform that they're going to be using especially for your Elevate is Metal, and for communication still it's Metal. So if you are planning for GenC Elevate, your skill-based platform would be Metal, and your communication assessment would still be Metal. In case of GenC, it is Metal, but only for let's say 10% of the colleges or students, the aptitude would be conducted on AMCAT, but 99% it is on Metal. So more or less everything is on Metal. A very few chance that the aptitude round goes on AMCAT for GenC only. Okay. So guys, before we move on to the next round of discussion, let us do one thing. Let me show you the PDF that your college would have shared with you already. So this is the PDF that Cognizant has shared. So this is the process overall, right? You first have your screening, you register, you have your screening, your resume and all, and then in the round 1, you have your technical assessment. Especially for GenC Elevate, you have your technical assessment. For your normal GenC profile, you have your aptitude test, right? Based upon your performance. So this is not an elimination round, guys, anyways. even if you don't perform well here, you anyways get a chance to give your communication assessment. We'll talk in detail about the technical assessment, the communication assessment as well. But I'm just giving you an overview here, and then we'll come back to the deep level discussion. Now, this is not an elimination round, but the overall score will be considered for final selection. And then round 2, you have a communication assessment. We'll talk about in detail about communication assessment in the video itself. Now, based upon your performance in both the technical and the communication assessment, you will be called for your interviews, right? So in the interview, guys, so you have, after the communication assessment, you have your GenC Elevate technical interview. For those who applied for the aptitude test, and for those who didn't perform well in the technical assessment, so they'll end up into the GenC SME interview. But for you, especially those who are targeting Elevate, after the after a good score in technical assessment, after a good score in communication assessment, you get a chance for the GenC Elevate technical interview. Right now, in GenC Elevate technical interview, guys, even though, so if you perform well here, you get your GenC Elevate offer. But if you underperform here or perform below than average, they'll offer you the GenC offer, normal one. Even though you applied for technical assessment, communication assessment, you performed well there because you didn't perform much better in the interview round, in the technical interview round, so they'll offer you the GenC offer. Now, even for Elevate offer, guys, as I've already said, based upon your performance in online test, the internship performance, and the training performance, either they'll give you the skills bonus of 25K, or they'll promote you to the GenC Next offer or the GenC Pro offer, which is 5.4 and 6.5 LP. Okay. So this is more or less about the entire structure. So now we'll move back to how the technical assessment goes, how the communication assessment is, and we'll also talk a little bit about the interview part for the same. So guys, moving on to the exam pattern for the same. As I said, as I've already showed you, you have the technical assessment, right? You have this technical assessment for Cognizant GenC Elevate profile, and in the Cognizant GenC, technical profile, I'm not showing you the aptitude part and all because there's already a video specially on GenC, and the link is in the description. So you can go and later watch that out if you are also looking forward for the GenC profile. But especially for the Elevate profile, guys, this is the pattern, right? So the exam pattern is basically, I'd say, majorly divided into 2 sections. Which Cognizant has divided into 2 sections, but internally we will even break it down to internal levels, and we'll try to understand it on a very deeper level. So as per Cognizant, they have 2 sections here. The first one is the conceptual and the code analysis, which is the MCQ kind of a round, and the second one is your coding test. The total is for 90 minutes, but we can hardly divide this whole section here in 30 minutes. So the top section, which is conceptual and code analysis, is of 30 minutes, and the coding test, that is the hands-on coding test, is for 60 minutes. So when we talk about the conceptual and the code analysis, even this is divided into 2 internal sections. The first 2, we call it the programming constructs, wherein you have basics of programming MCQ, and then data structures MCQ. 8 minutes and 6 minutes, you have 4 questions and 3 questions. Talking about this, second internal segment that we have created, that is data structures and utility API. We'll talk about this in detail, wherein you get advanced coding and competitive programming MCQ. So this could be a theoretical based question, wherein you have to, you have questions about time complexity, you have, questions about, Dijkstra and things like that. Theoretical kind of a question where you have MCQs and you need to answer those. Again, 6 minutes, 3 questions. And then yes, DBMS, they don't ask you to code anything here. It's just MCQ, right? MCQs on DBMS. And then guys, you can also expect a little bit of Java in this particular section. It could be some MCQs on Java, or let's say pseudocode type questions on Java as well, that we'll see a little later. Talking about the coding hands-on, guys. So you have intermediate coding, you have advanced coding, which is basically your coding in, deeply concentrated upon data structures and competitive coding, and then you have SQL based coding questions. So guys, more or less, so the difference here is more or less what you need to crack your Elevate exam is this. Basically, you need coding, which I'll say your basic coding, intermediate coding, and competitive coding, cause these 2 sections, right? this and this particular section can be handled using your basic and intermediate coding. But when we talk about the advanced coding, you need to have good enough knowledge on coding skills. And then the next thing that you need is data structures, very very important. And yes, cause it is elevate profile and you have seen the skill based bonus over there, and then the promotion to the next and the pro profile, skills are again very 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 important, right? Okay. So before we move on to the next slide, let me quickly show you, for those who have already have the Prepensa Prime subscription. So guys, if you are preparing for Cognizant GenC Elevate, so I'll quickly show you. So what do you need to prepare? You need to prepare here. You need to go to C, C++, Java mandatorily. Basic and intermediate coding. Basic coding is for the programming constructs part. Intermediate coding again for the first two questions that you get in the second section, and then competitive coding for your advanced coding question, and again data structures in any of your preferred languages which would be necessary to code, right? The coding hands-on. You don't need aptitude, logical, verbal for the Elevate profile, but if you also have targets for GenC normal profile, you need to go to this particular section from here. And then cause the rounds are conducted on metal, especially for Elevate, it's all metal, right? In case of GenC, 10% would get the aptitude round on AMCAT, but the rest is all metal, right? So for that, guys, what you can do is you can simply scroll down to the platform section. You can practice your questions from here, the metal course. Once you have done the metal course from here, you can move on to even for more questions and more practice. What you can do is you can move to this particular section from here, which is specially designed for your companies, right? So you can go here, you can see the GenC. So this is your Cognizant GenC. This is your Cognizant GenC Elevate, special section for Cognizant GenC Elevate, from where you can go and prepare for it, right? The Cognizant GenC Elevate. Moreover, guys, apart from this, what you need is, as I said, there could be a few pseudocode based questions from Java. So this is one section that you should definitely check out, and then your interview part, right, that you can definitely go and check out in the interview plus section. And yes, now the most importantly, you also need to grab a few skills like AI, cybersecurity, ethical hacking, cloud computing, right? So these are the skills that we have on Prepensa Prime as of now, and NLP and deep learning. We'll also be coming up with skills like data sciences, business intelligence courses coming very very soon. But yes, meanwhile, these are the available skills on Prepensa Prime, and make sure you are going and checking that out, preparing at least a few of them, so that you have your chances of getting the skills bonus. And then apart from that, get yourself promoted into the next and the profile, right? So moving back to our discussion, so guys, yes, 90 minutes, you have conceptual and code analysis, you have coding test, right? Now let us also break down the exam pattern into a little more deeper, and let's see what type of concepts are they expecting, right? So guys, when we talk about the programming constructs parts, you have OOPS, DSA, basic tree, searching, sorting, pointer, exception handling in C, utility API like strings, date, Java, collection framework. Okay, so these are the few things that you need from your programming construct part. When we talk about DBMS and SQL, even though you don't have a coding question on DBMS, you have a coding question on SQL. I'll also show you a sample question on SQL, right? So basic basic query language, fetch, joins, PLSQL, data control language, transaction control languages, cursors, exception handling. And then from coding unit, Prepensa top 100 code to handle your intermediate coding part, basic coding part. And then you definitely need data structures, you need intermediate coding and your previous year questions to practice, right? And then for the advanced coding part, as I said, you need to go through your competitive coding course as well. Now for this, guys, what you need to go through is, so if you are for the top first two questions, you can definitely go and prepare from this as well. What you can do is you can Google top 100 codes. Simply Google top 100 codes and this page would land up for you. Let me show you how. Search for top 100 codes. This is the first top 100 code page. When you open it up, you can see all the type of questions that you can expect in the easy segment, all right, in the first two sections or the first 2-3 coding questions. And then for intermediate coding, top 100 codes, the lower section for the same in this this section after arrays, right, which is a matrix, pattern printing and all, right? This is something which would help you for the next round. And then your hard, which is data structures and competitive coding, right, which again you can go and check it out on Prepensa Prime specially. Again, guys, we'll also create a special video for you guys, especially on Cognizant GenC Elevate coding questions and answers, and we'll talk very much into detail about the same in that. Right. So done till here, guys. So now the next section, as I said, let me show you the PDF as well. So we have discussed a few things about technical assessment here. The next thing is your round 2 is your communication assessment. So when we talk about communication assessment, guys, this is mostly to judge your English, right? So now what happens here is, first of all, you need to plug in your headsets. The section is, see, overall, if we define it, the section is about your listening skills, how good listener you are, first of all. And because mostly the prompter which would speak, or the system that would speak, the accent would generally be an European or an US kind of an accent, which is not our general Indian accent. So you need to be very well in that. So I believe you have watched a lot of movies, that would really help you here. And then your speaking skills, your accent, your pronunciation, that is another thing. And on top of this, your grammar and your basic English knowledge on tenses or verb, or articles, that is something that will be assessed, wherein they have divided into 3 different sections. Wherein, see, first they would be reading and grammar. When what they'll do is, yeah, so they'll give you question like some fill in the blank question, wherein there would be an article missing or a blank for a tense, and you have to fill in the proper tense. Could be sentences like wherein you have to fill with for or since, and could be even tougher. Another thing would be a reading comprehension. They would give you a reading comprehension. You have to read it out, or let's say not even read it out. They'll read it out for you. So you have to listen to the comprehension. Then they'll ask you questions as well. Then you have to answer the question, and then maybe in the third round, that what they'll do is they'll display a paragraph in front of you, and they'll ask you to read it out, wherein they'll check your speaking skills. So the entire section is for 45 minutes, guys. Do not take it easy, because this is again a little tougher, and we'll definitely create a special video for you guys for this as well. So guys, again, let me also show you the SQL question here. So this is the kind of SQL question that is generally there in the exam. So they give you an entire question, right? The input format, the output format, the entire question is given to you. This is the input. These are the input values that you have to input, and these are the output, sample output that they are expecting, which is on the right. So they've given you the question, they've given you the input, they are also given you the output. Now what you have to do is to write a query, SQL query, which would definitely convert this input into the desired output which we got, right? So this is something that we have to do. So this is the space to write your SQL query. You have to write your SQL query over here, right? So question, input, output, and then your query. Right. So guys, let me also quickly tell you about the roles that are offered in Elevate. So you generally be working on Unix, .NET, Cloud, Java, software engineer, or an IoT developer. Because in GenC profile, guys, it is more like a testing profile. So I definitely suggest you not to go for GenC, go for GenC Elevate profile. And then, as I've already told you, based upon your performance, you'd again be promoted to the second roles as well, which is the pro or the next role with higher packages. That totally depends upon your skills. Apart from all the performances, skills are very, very, very important. And again, guys, another thing that you must know is your Cognizant orbit shifter. So this generally comes into picture after 1 year of experience. So let's say you'll end up into GenC after all your hard work and everything. Let's say sadly you'll end up into GenC profile. So what happens is, after your performance here, guys, they can also shift you to here, right? So based upon your performance for 1 year and the overall performance in the internship, the training, and overall and 1 year experience there, and based upon the skills that you acquire in those 1 year, right, and everything, so they can also move you to the Elevate profile or the pro profile or the next profile. That will take place after 1 year. But in case of the Elevate, as I said, based upon skills, they can move you to pro and next quickly. They'll not wait for 1 year. But for the orbit shifter, you need to wait for 1 year. But yes, in that 1 year, you need to acquire a lot of skills. So why to wait for 1 year and acquire for those skills when you can actually acquire those skills right now and directly land up into Elevate and then get your chances into pro and next profiles directly. So guys, again, let me now show you again for Prime. If you have Prime subscription already, you don't have to worry about anything. Everything is there at one place. So I'll show you. If for simple GenC profile, you have quants, logical, verbal over here. let me quickly talk about the Elevate profile, the technical round over here. So you need to go to C, C++, Java first and most important. Then you have to go to basic, intermediate, and competitive coding and data structures in any of your preferred languages. This is where you have done your basics. Then again, I'll come back to skills later on. Post this, guys, what you also need is you can so for practice more, you can go to Metal from here, practice a lot of questions from here. Again, you need your DBMS from here, you need SQL from here. So make sure you go and check out DBMS and SQL courses from here, which would help you. Again, pseudocode is needed because there could be a few questions, MCQ based questions from pseudocode in the technical round, right? And then to practice even more, you can definitely go into this particular section, the Cognizant GenC Next and the Cognizant GenC Elevate profile. Let me scroll it for you here. Okay, so this is for GenC, and the next one is for Elevate, right? So we have courses especially on Elevate and GenC from here, so which you can go and prepare. And definitely, most importantly, if you are looking for a higher package, not just the GenC and not waiting for the orbit shift, or skills are important, which is AI, cybersecurity, ethical hacking, cloud computing, etc., etc. So guys, I believe there's a discount going on currently, so you can definitely go and check out in the description of the video and make sure you grab the offers. And then most importantly, guys, make sure you're a part of all our social media handles, and yes, you keep commenting on the video to get your Prepinsta Prime subscription for free. And yes, last but not the least, guys, make sure you have clicked onto the bell icon and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you never miss out on any important information. And guys, for those who want to reach out to me directly for any doubts that they might have, this is my Instagram handle, one Manish_Agarwal. Right, the link is also there in the description of the video, so you can definitely reach out to me if you have any query, anything. Me or my team would be more than happy to reach out to you guys. Thank you so much, guys.